This video is a tutorial about one-pass brioche, especially using my invention, the knit assist ring. I recommend that you know how to do traditional brioche, the 2 passes per row method, before tackling this. You should understand how brioche stitches are made and what they should look like and how to fix mistakes. I also recommend patience. Watch this video, do the technique, watch it again, rewind. In other words, practice. Currently you are looking at the main color side of my work where the knit stitches are white. The white yarn is feeding through the knit assist ring from the right side of the ring, whereas the contrast color, which is purple, is feeding through the ring on the left side of the ring. This is important in one-pass brioche. This is a purl stitch. And after a purl, I wrap the yarn around the right needle, which forms the wrap for the purl stitch and for the upcoming knit stitch, and knit the next stitch with the white. Bring the yarns forward, purl with purple, leave the yarns wrapped around the right needle, knit with the white yarn, bring the yarn forward, purl with the purple, wrap, knit, forward, purl, wrap, knit. Let's slow things down. Knit with the white yarn coming from underneath the purple yarn. Before you purl, bring your yarns forward. Purl with the purple yarn. After you purl, leave the yarns, both yarns, wrapped around the right needle. Knit from underneath the purple with the white yarn. Bring the yarns forward. Purl with purple. Leave the yarns wrapped around the right needle. Knit with the white. Forward, purl, wrap. Go underneath the purple yarn and knit with the white yarn. Forward, purl, wrap, knit. When you purl a stitch, you bring both yarns to the front of the left-hand needle, purl with the appropriate color, which in this case is purple. Leave both yarns wrapped around the right-hand needle. That creates the wrap for this stitch and the next stitch. There's a wrapped stitch, there's a wrapped stitch. Yarn forward, purl with just the purple, wrap the right needle with both yarns. That leaves a wrap on that stitch. This yarn wraps this stitch. Now you realize how to knit and purl in brioche, but occasionally you're going to come to the end of the row. Right here I'm going to knit with the white, purl with the purple because I'm on the main color side, knit with the white. Now there should only be 2 stitches left because there's a purl column and a knit column. So turn that knit stitch around so that you still have a wrap on the purple stitch. Bring your yarns forward, purl with the purple, catching the wrap and the stitch. Only leave the white yarn wrapped around your right needle and keep the purple yarn in front of the work. It's not going to be used for the last stitch, but the white yarn has to wrap the last purple purl stitch. Now you need to knit the last stitch with the white, leaving the purple out in front of the work. Turn your work around. Turn the yarn, the knit assist ring over so that the purple is on the right. Because now you're on the contrast side, the purple yarn is the knit stitch, and you want that coming from the right hand side of the ring. Pull your white yarn in front of your left hand needle, slip the first stitch as if to purl. Wrap your right needle with that white yarn because that's the wrap for the next stitch. Knit with purple. Purl with the white yarn. Wrap your right hand needle. Here's a view of how the edge looks when you use that slip stitch. It's a very neat way to look at the edge. Remember, your first stitch doesn't need a wrap. Every other stitch needs a wrap. Now your yarn is waiting on the right needle to wrap that purple stitch. Every stitch except the first one has a wrap. The purple is the knit stitch on this side. So the purple is on the right of the ring. Purple yarn is on the right side of the ring. And the white yarn is the purl yarn. Both my strands are in front of the left needle. I go behind the strands and purl with the white. Leave both strands wrapped around the right needle. Knit with purple. Come forward. Purl with white. Knit with purple. Purl white. Knit purple. As I took a look at this work, it's an obvious kablooey right there where this wrap didn't actually get wrapped. So I'll remember that, or I'll put a marker there, and it's easy when you get to that stitch to put that wrap back up around the stitch. You want to do that because that's a glaring faux pas. I found another stitch that didn't have a wrap. You can see it immediately. If you look on the other side, there's a stripe of yarn going the wrong direction. Pick that yarn up, put it back on your left needle. There's the wrap. If you don't pick it up, it leaves a terrible horizontal stripe on your fabric that is terribly obvious. I just want to show you how the yarn is wrapped on the knitting ring. The white yarn is not as slick as the purple yarn, so the white yarn is simply wrapped around every other post. The purple yarn is wrapped more complexly in order to create the tension that equals the tension of the white yarn. You can wrap the yarn on this ring any way that gives you the tension that you desire. Now we're coming to the end of the contrast color row. So on the last two stitches, I will knit the purple column with purple yarn. There's a wrap on there that shouldn't be there, so I'm going to drop it. Bring the white yarn in front of the left needle, not the purple yarn. It needs to stay behind the work. Purl that stitch with white yarn, leaving the purple behind the work. Pull that stitch up as much as possible. It's loose because of that extra wrap that shouldn't have been there and turn the work.